With so many pumps to choose from, we've been having a lot of questions lately on which pump is the right pump and how do I maintenance and service that pump for longevity. So let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you are watching another great episode of Toolbox Topic. I'm joined once again by my co-host Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
Doing okay.
Nice.
Psyched about pumps.
Oh, psyched about pumps. We're coming to you once again from the Trek Bicycle Store of West Phoenix in Goodyear, Arizona. Because it's where the cool kids hang out, yeah? And me. And as we alluded to in our introduction, we are going to be talking about pumps. Now, when we talk about pumps, and guys, of course, the jokes just start coming out naturally. We will keep it clean for the most part.
That's such pedestrian humor.
Right.
It's too easy.
It is too easy. Just bad humor like Austin Powers, but I digress. We've had several questions over the last 4 weeks from some of the shorts that we have done on pumps and one of our longer videos that we did, a couple years ago on pumps. So we thought we'd revisit and answer some of the specific questions that were asked in the comments, which we love you guys for. Thank you so much. Appreciate that support. And if you want to support us even more, you can hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification icon. Helps out the channel, helps out the video. Okay, Brandon, now, when we talk about pumps, we have pumps for the garage.
Right.
Okay. We have pumps for our suspension. Okay. We have pumps that we could put in our bags so when we're on the road or on the trail in case we develop a flat and we need to air up and we're not
Emergency
using
pumps.
Yep, not using CO2. It's a story for another day. There's a plethora of pumps. Now I gotta friggin' airtight my compressor. We even have ones that'll go on the air compressor. Yeah.
I love when people buy those.
Yeah, the air check. I can't wait to actually get to chance to use mine. And these pumps are varying degrees of quality. We have very basic ones. We have ones that are aluminum, ones that are very fancy and well built. Steel, double shot. I love this Bontrager pump. We'll get to this one. I have this one personally in my garage. I've had this one now for 5 years or something like that. As long as this shop has been open, I've had this pump. It's never failed me. And I have a backup one that I'll carry with me out to the trail if I know I'm riding with multiple riders, just for people to check their air pressure and everything like that before we start.
Okay.
So with all the pumps, Brandon, what, in your opinion, your professional opinion, defines a good pump, a quality pump, that's going to last you not just 1-2 seasons, but a dozen seasons or more?
I think most of the pumps you're going to get now from a bike shop, it doesn't come from Target or Walmart, unfortunately.
Right.
It's going to be a good, high-quality pump. They're all going to be great. Just like anything, it's how well you take care of them. But I will say, I like a simple pump. Just to cut to the chase, you'll see these things around the shop. This is the Charger from Bontrager.
Right.
It's a very basic pump, but we use it day in, day out. It kicks ass. It's reasonably priced, like $45.
$45, yep.
And just because I know that we've had them in the shop and we use them day in, day out, and they last for years,
yes,
I go straight to this guy.
Yep.
Again, sorry, cutting right to the chase this morning.
No worries.
But this is a fantastic value, and it works great. I always say the downside of things, I hate that they now put all these PSI gauges at the bottom.
Yes,
that
harder
means
to see. You gotta have your
I gotta
glasses.
have my glasses out to read them. So a lot of times, some of the past Bontrager pumps, they've been up here, nice big dial. Some of them even had a PSI little bug on there that you could set to, you can see the needle going. Once it hits the bug, you can stop pumping.
Right.
So that was I thought it was very convenient.
Absolutely.
Again, they're all down here now, very hard to read for me. Sucks, but
We're getting old, guys.
I know just from experience, just from using this thing for years, that this is a fantastic pump, and this is the first one I'll go to. Now, if someone has other specific needs, then we start going either side of this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, like I said, I've owned this pump since the shop's been open, so I'm going to say about 5 years now, hasn't it been? 4 or 5 years, something like that. It uses a coin battery, that goes right there. It's digital. I just replaced the battery, so I'm going to say about 4 years. It's stored in my garage. I don't treat it any differently or anything. This is a great pump. What I like about this particular pump is with every stroke it's efficient, and so I'm pumping up fast. I'm not gassing out that you would, but you get the pump, it's like, holy smokes, it takes forever. This one also, I can fill this charging cylinder. And so this, if you don't have an air compressor, will help you reset your bead on your tubeless tires.
Right, because a big blast of air.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 200 psi is what this will hold, and then you could just hit it, and just like you would do with that air chuck, okay, from Park. So this is my main pump. I haven't had to do anything as far as maintenance, even though I've checked it, made sure everything's working correctly. But this one also carries a premium price tag of $160. I think when I bought it was like $139 or something, but it's gone up a little bit, as everything. So I would say if you have the money and you're looking for a dedicated garage pump, you don't have an air compressor, and you want something that will set those beads, set up for your tubeless and everything, this is a great way to go. Now, there are other models out there, sure, but this one is the one that Trek sells. It's by Bontrager, and I'm here to tell you it's been great. Worked flawlessly for me.
I love selling this pump to people who probably will do those maybe 24-hour endurance races. They camp the night before, they're camping the night afterwards.
Yes.
They're out in the boonies. They have no sources, or resources, I should say,
Right.
to replace a tire if they need to. This is a great one for that. Now,
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with this pump. It's awesome when it works, but there's some combinations. There's some tires that I've noticed. It's like some of the Maxxis tires are such a heavy bead and so strong. This one's not tough enough to get you out there. I haven't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Again, when it works, it's freaking fantastic. Other times when I try to do stuff with it,
Not so much.
not so much. So I think it has to very much do with the combination of what tire you're using and what
What
tire
tire
you're
it's
using.
in,
Yeah.
Now, I haven't had
Yeah.
that issue, and you guys know I ride Maxxis Ardents for all my mountain bike use. So I've been fortunate about that. But yes, I could see where
Yep.
just some it would just be.
Just so we all know that
Yep.
it doesn't work in every single case. But again, to have the backup of having a pump that you can use as a pump and some kind of burst of air, if you're out in that, you live that kind of life where you're out in the boonies, by all means, hey, at least you have something to give it a try.
Absolutely.
It's a good try.
Now, for my just standard carry pump, like I say, I take it with me when I travel and I'm driving. For example, I'll be going to Las Vegas. I'll be leaving on the 4th. I'll be there for 10 days for some work, some business, but I do plan on taking the bike and riding while I'm there. I will take this as my travel pump, this Parks one. Again, purchased it here. This is a great pump. Not fancy, no frills, but the pump stroke is smooth. It's efficient. Have a nice big gauge down here that I can read. And for the time that I've owned it, just being thrown in the truck, take to the trails. Again, everybody's checking the air pressure and everything like that. It's done very, very well, and it's been maintenance free, to this point. And we should point out that all these pumps will do Presta or Schrader.
Great.
So
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I
Yep.
meant to bring that up earlier. That's a huge thing. People come in for a Presta valve adapter all the time. I'm like, you'll do it. Just do it if you have this pump.
Yeah.
A lot of pumps do not do that that are older, of course. But it's worth a shot to do some research on the pump. If you don't have a Bontrager that I'm familiar with, sometimes you have to switch the little grommet inside, and we'll talk about that when we come to the emergency pumps.
This one, I don't even need to switch to grommet.
No, it's called Smart Head. It's called a Smart Head.
Smart Head.
Yep,
Yeah,
so
don't
just
laugh,
put 'em on.
guys, because a lot of things in biking and plumbing, and sound sexual in nature. So no matter Schrader or Presta, you just and then boom, and you're done. And it even has a little picture on here to illustrate that this is for Presta or Schrader.
That's a fantastic invention. We love that.
Yep. So almost as good as a dropper post.
Going back to the pump, it's a very good pump. It's very plasticky to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's a little more expensive than the Bontrager one, which has a metal base. So again, that's why I always go to the Bontrager one. But this is solid. Everybody sees the Park logo. They like the Park blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's a recognizable trademark. So it sells well as well.
It does
well.
And you guys want to know why I bought that one and not the Bontrager one? Because they were out of the Bontrager one when I bought the pump.
Okay.
And I needed one. So
Cool.
it happens. So, all right. So now moving on, before we get to the emergency pumps,
We do these two first.
so let's talk about those two, and then we'll talk about the suspension pump.
Okay.
Very different.
Very good. So we also carry this one, the Lazine. This is just one of those
So nice.
boutique looking. It's a beautiful. Sometimes it's nice to have just a pretty tool in the garage, and that's why we have this little zine. Anodized pump head on there, a beautiful gauge. This one goes up to 220 psi, by the way, and a wood handle. This is just kind of a throwback, kind of an antique, classic looking one. It's expensive, and it's not necessary one bit. But sometimes people that have a nice taste and a good and a budget,
you spend your money where you're going to spend your money, my friends.
It's just a nice thing to have.
Yeah,
and it's a high quality pump. Anything Lazine makes it's a high quality purchase anyway.
And I was going to say their emergency pumps are super nice, and they do high volume, high pressure, which is great. And you're not killing your arm pumping out there on the trail. So I can't say enough good things about the company.
Yep. The one thing about this, a little bit downside, I'm not as happy with taking that pump head on and off.
Yeah.
I feel like this smart head is way simpler, way faster, but still, it's still awesome.
Yeah.
And then the last one for the shop pumps would be this guy right here.
Yeah.
So this one has this is called the dual charger, and this one has a valving switch selector on here for high pressure or high volume, depending on which one you select. Say you're pumping up a beach cruiser tire, you go to high volume, that way you get the most per pump. If you go to high pressure, you're going to have the easiest time pumping up to your desired pressure.
Yep.
This one is highly serviceable. Most of these are pretty serviceable, but this one actually shows in the tech docs that you can open this thing up, put some new grease in there, and then service this one every now and again.
Right.
But I can't. How often would you need to do that? Hardly ever. But if you look at the other pumps, this one has a nice.
Oh yeah, no, it's got a great piston on there. It's durable.
Yep.
You're not going to bend that thing.
It's a lot of volume per pump on this one. This one might be worth the extra cost. What is it, $65 or so?
75.
75.
Yeah.
If you own multiple bikes, if you have mountain bikes, road bikes, kids bikes, all that stuff.
No kids bikes.
This would do the job.
Yeah,
do it very well.
Absolutely. Now, before I kind of get brain locked here again, a lot of these come with a little storage thing right here, so you can pull this out. Okay, and in here you're going to have your inflatable raft. Okay, for you pool people, and a needle for your footballs,
or
basketballs,
your girlfriend.
Yeah, whatever. Got Brandon, of course. Leave it to him, and I'm usually the guy. We're talking about pumps. Got to have an inflatable girlfriend. So, just a little side note there. They have that little compartment off to the side, so you have this one does, the others don't. And as far as serviceability goes, most of these are designed to be maintenance free. Okay, as long as you take care of them and you don't abuse them, you will get years of use from them. Some of them,
and by the time those years are over, I've got my money's worth out of this thing. I'll just buy a new pump.
Because you buy the rebuild kit for $35 and then spend 2 hours fighting with it to try to rebuild it. At that point, I think I would just, I'm going to go ahead and just buy a new pump. But depending on what pump you get, and manufacturers will vary, we only have the 3 manufacturers here represented. There's other manufacturers, and those rebuild part kits will be available on their website for the ones that are rebuildable. So to answer your question for the people who asked, yes, some of them you can rebuild. Most of them don't really need it. And as far as maintenance goes, there's really no maintenance to go.
I would say the one thing you can do to keep these things better, longer, just like your bike in the summertime here, or somewhere else where it might be hot or too cold, just bring them inside the house.
Right.
I mean,
put
they're
it
all
in the broom
plastic.
closet.
They're all plastic parts and rubber inside, so all those things that can expand and contract.
Yeah.
If we can keep those in a more conditioned space, they'll last longer.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, that being said, Brandon, and of course, if the hose cracks or something, you can get replacement hoses.
That is one thing. By all means, $15 to get a new hose. It's
and the hose will give out before anything else does.
Usually, what happens is the little grommets inside the pump heads wear out, which are replaceable for just $1 or so. I mean, just a couple dollars. So come on in if you have problems with it, and if it's cost effective, just get that little part.
Yeah,
it'd be good.
That's it. All right, so let's move on to emergency pumps. Now, I'm sure. Let me take this out of my pocket. It's vibrating and it's giving me. Ooh. Brandon, I'll hand that one to you.
All right.
I got this one. These are Park Tools. We got some Bontrager ones here. Now, For those who don't use CO2, and we'll talk about CO2 in another video, okay, as far as
Which one you got there?
emergency pumping. I've got the Park 4.2.
Yeah, so do I. This one's just anodized.
Okay, so
This one's prettier.
yeah, a little prettier. Well, here, then I'll give you the Bontrager one.
Okay.
I'll change it. So, these are great. And I remember when I first started riding, the pump was like yay long, and you compressed it to fit between the two tubes and everything. And then they did start making smaller ones that would go onto the brazed mounts where you would put water bottle cages, okay, in case you wanted to carry this one. Mine's just thrown in my bag, but I also carry CO2. I've got both because you never know what you're going to need. This one will also do Presta and Schrader, but you have to flip the grommet.
Have to flip them around.
Okay, it's not a smart head. Can you find the pumps like this, emergency pumps that have smart heads? Yes. This one is not a smart head, so make sure you're looking. And
I'm not sure if I've ever seen a small pump. Not to say they're not out there. I don't know if I've ever seen a small emergency pump that does both automatically.
I've only seen one, and I wish I could remember what it was. Now back here on the back, instructions, eh? But you'll notice the first one here specifically shows you how your orientation needs to be for Presta or Schrader. I wish there was a
If there was a
combination.
Shresta, that would solve everybody's problems. That would be the end of a lot
That
of
would be. There's our $1
conversations.
million invention.
for
So,
real.
now everything I own is Presta, so I don't have to worry about it. But if I come across the trail, someone needs assistance, I can easily turn this into a Schrader pump. These are going to vary as far as usage goes. Got to turn that, and then that's going to loosen.
I think I want to get a little rubber lock on it. You can pull.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to break it. I didn't know if it was going to turn. And then you're going to flip that handle. As far as that goes, crank, and air yourself up. These are so easy to use. Jesus, Brandon, I think I did break this one.
I do appreciate that you can move that handle around like that to give you a little more leverage. That feels comfortable as opposed to this one that is just, you're kind of,
Yeah. Again,
that's the stuff.
Yeah. It's what are you going to do? But are they convenient? No. But they're emergency pumps. They're tiny.
Right.
They're going to work in a pinch. Again, as far as rebuilding these or maintenance, there's no rebuilding. When it goes, it goes.
Yep.
Maintenance, don't abuse it, and you'll get several years of faithful service from this thing.
Yeah. For sure.
Brandon, is there anything else that you
Yeah,
want
it's
to add
important
on
though. So
these?
we have two kinds here, and Park makes a different one as well. Everybody makes kind of different versions of Zine as well. High volume and high pressure.
Right.
So if you're strictly putting it on a road bike and keeping for road bike, get the high pressure one. It's also some more compact, but it'll get you up to the pressure you need, and this one will get you that. Not quite the pressure you need, but the volume in this one. So depending on what ride bike or what tires size you're riding, get the appropriate pump for that.
Now,
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that, Gen A.
Mhm.
Even with the road bikes, we see a lot of guys and gals have switched to more of a larger diameter on the tire and a higher volume.
That's a good point.
So, the days of riding 120 PSI are gone. We see a lot of guys and gals that are rocking 65, 75, 85 PSI, which is a higher volume in that 32 millimeter casing.
Good point.
So just again, choose appropriately.
Yep.
You
In
know,
which case, that high volume one will probably work just fine. It's all what your tire is. High pressure, low volume. High volume, low pressure.
There you go. Exactly. You know what else works? Hit the like, subscribe, bell notification icon. Once again, if you made it this far, we love you to death and we thank you for the support. All right, last but not least, Brandon, bring us home.
All right, final pump we need to learn about is the shock pump suspension pump.
Right, and before we go forward, there were some people who, of course, people are going to hate and they're going to comment. They're going to say what they're going to say. The last time we talked about this, shock pump, and you're like, don't use this pump to air up your shocks or anything. You were being very specific. There's people in the comments. Mm-hmm. Oh, my friend said he could use a regular floor pump, and you guys didn't know what you were talking about.
You know what? Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. See what happens.
Right. So, guys, it's not a grift, okay? We're not trying to, scam you to call our 1-900 number or anything like that to make a purchase. We're showing you the appropriate tools to use for certain very specific situations. If you are inflating your suspension, this is the pump you use. If you want to use CO2,
Period.
go for it. If you want to use a floor pump, Go for it. Just make sure you record it and you put it on TikTok and tag us so we can see that shit. Brandon, go. Take it away.
All right. So there's a number, just like anything, there's a number of these to choose from. Right now, this one's my favorite. It is a 0 loss, so it's a more accurate when you remove, because we're using such high pressure. Now this is serious high pressure in some points, up to 300 pounds PSI in a very small chamber. I like having a 0 loss valve, which isolates the valve before you remove it from the canister or from the fork, so that your end PSI is the most accurate. I think this is great.
Absolutely.
I do hate pumping with these things. They are so ergonomically terrible.
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting up to 200, 300 PSI and you're getting all sweaty, and then you actually hit the button, which is right here where you hold it to release air. It's infuriating. I don't know why they can't make a nicer.
I'm surprised they don't make a battery operated one that's connected to an app on your phone. You put it on, and then you put what the PSI that you want to do, and it's got the different tables in there.
Just a little,
and then it just goes
tiny. Yeah.
And then when it reaches that pressure, you
another $1 million idea.
I'm telling you, I got a bunch of them, guys.
But I have not yet found I found a pump that I like to use, but I've never found one yet that feels good and gives me a lot of leverage.
Pros and cons on everything.
Yep, exactly.
Pros and cons on
But
everything.
the main thing is that I want everybody to know, and I've made this mistake just recently as well. You're always learning, always learning. If you're removing the air out of a suspension shock, always use a pump and use the slowly release valve to take that air out. If you let that air out quickly, you're going to form a negative pressure in there, which we have videos of all the times that we let, there's negative air pressure involved, and then we take that canister out. It's tense moments.
Yeah.
Because they implode.
Right.
At that point, it's never fun. So removing air from an air canister, always use a shock pump and slowly remove the air using the bleed valve that's on the shock pump.
Yeah. Best practices, my friends. Best practices. Are we telling you have to use that pump and do it that way? No. We are saying it's best practices. Understand that, okay? I know we're still going to have somebody comment. So, Brandon, before we close out this video, is there anything else that you would like to mention about these pumps, or maybe anything mentioned to our great fans that are watching us and everything?
I think we covered all this stuff. I'm good.
Yeah, and I would say from the time I've been riding, we're the same age. Pumps have changed. Maybe not necessarily the technology, but the efficiency, the sturdiness of a pump, what pumps are capable of doing, digital, analog, just various different things you can do. And it's nice to see that progression. I would say these are in the interface on some pumps as well. So that usability has become more friendly for the customer, whether it's a person in a bike shop, who's using it every day, whether you just ride on the weekends, or a commuter. So we have different needs. So it's nice. It's nice to see that evolution of what it is. Again, and I have jokingly said, oh, just pump and put it on there and program it. Who knows? Maybe there is something like that out there, guys. If you've seen it, comment down below for sure. But I think we're not too far off to seeing that next jump in some of that technology. But at the end of the day, okay,
that's yours.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? As far as that goes, the wheel's always going to be round, my friends, unless you're Canadian. Joking, guys. If you watch South Park, you know what I'm talking about. So, all right, enough before it completely goes off the rails. Like, subscribe, bell notification icon, my friends. It helps out the channel, helps out the video, the trifecta we love so much here at Get Out Arizona. If you've made it this far, God bless you. There's going to be sometimes it's hard. It's a painful process, but we have the loyal fans out there. Trek Bicycle Stores of West Phoenix. The link is down below. If you have any questions about any of the videos that you've watched, you're more than welcome to comment. We will get back to you as soon as possible. You guys know that I travel a lot, so sometimes I get backed up on answering those. Or you can follow the link. You can call Brandon, and one of his amazing team members, or he, will be more than happy to help you. Now, guys, remember, I'm not sponsored by Trek. Brandon and I are friends, but I still pay like everybody else. Again, I remind you, he charges me extra. It's asshole tax, okay, for his servitude, his debt of servitude as far as that goes. And I don't work here. It's awesome that you guys think that I work here, but I really don't. I'd love to one day, maybe when I retire. So yeah, don't ask for me. I'm not here, but I think it's kind of comical what people still do. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the devil's work, okay? Need it for Get Out Arizona. We're doing a group hike. By the time you guys see this, well, group hike will have already done. But we do group hikes, group rides. It's so much fun to promote and support community, okay? Because no matter what you're doing out there, my friends, we have to be part of that community. The link for my Amazon store is also down below. Now, when you follow that link and you make a qualifying purchase, I don't care if you buy something from my store or you divert and you go buy dog food for your Doberman or Schnauzer or whatever it is you might have. I get a commission, and that helps out with park pass money, gas money, and coffee money, the other trifecta we love so much here at Get Out Arizona. So we appreciate your support on all fronts, my friends. This is our 4th year, okay? We grow every month, and we're going to get there. It is what it is. And we're doing that with people like you. So again, this video, thank you so much for all the people who commented and requested this video. Here it is. Hopefully it answered all your questions, okay? And if you have any additional ones that were sparked by this video, ask down below. That's why we do these, to spark conversation so we can help out people within our community. And speaking of that, Brandon, what are the tenets? Be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards out on that trail, my friends. We're teachers, we're educators when we're out there, okay? Help those who just don't know, okay? And we gotta ask, what are you waiting for?
Get out, Arizona.
Goddamn right. We will see you on that next adventure. Brandon? You said goddamn. I did. It's all right. I'm in good with the big guy, so he doesn't mind. We'll see you on that next adventure. Take care, everybody. Brandon, we'll see you next week.
Adios.